You ladies ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Autumn, and I'd like you to have a great night this evening here at Lithas Tea Time on the official Discord server for Bloodlines Heroes of Lithas. It's a chance for everybody to come together in a non-competitive game mode or event and just have a chance to get to meet some players from around the town of Lithas and have a little bit of fun. So, a little bit of housekeeping. The official Discord server is PG-13, so we're going to ask everybody to please mind their P's and Q's, their language and content to be appropriate for that age group. And we are audio recording as well. So just so that everybody in the audience is aware, everybody's opinion is appreciated and valued. So if you do have comments as we go along, we're going to try and get to all of those and read them as well. And I think that's all of the housekeeping for this evening. So I guess I'm just going to get right to it. We have a very special guest with us this evening. You may have received a fatal hug from this particular person. I was very happy to introduce Lady Momo from Fatal Hugs and Blackgate Asylum. So thank you for joining us, Lady Momo, this evening.
Thank you for having me. Great
Very
introduction.
excited. I had to get that fatal hug in there. So yeah, this is an opportunity for the community to get a chance to actually hear from you. So maybe you could take a few minutes, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your guilds, and a little bit about your journey here in the game of Bloodlines.
Absolutely happy to.
Thank you.
So I have been playing for 2.5 years. I have been very fortunate to play with some great people. Um, in a few different guilds. One of my former guild mates is in the audience, so loved playing with Rug for a very long time. Currently, my main account is Lady Momo. We're a little goofy, so my name is Lady Alt right now, and playing in Blackgate. And I'm GM for Fatal Hugs, and that's Lady Marmalade and or Mo Marmalade, and something along those lines. Had a lot of fun with the names. But when I joined, I of course did not know anything that I was doing. I was lucky to have some great players help guide me along the way in a great guild that is not around anymore, and had great folks in it, and really got to meet a lot of fun people. And when I was in Moria, we had a sister guild called Valor of Magus, and that one I started leading to help support some fun players that were newer to the game, and so have kept that guild and been the GM for it for almost 2 years. And we changed our name to Fatal Hugs, and that was a suggestion from some of our friends, and our guildies voted for it. And so the name Fatal Hugs has brought quite a bit of laughter whenever we play. And anybody who has played me, as Autumn you mentioned, may have gotten fatally hugged by me. I often say when I'm playing, "Oh, look, somebody so and so just gave me a hug," and sad that they sent me home, but they gave me a great big hug. And it's I've always tried to think of the game as friendly, even when it is sometimes a little contentious. I just want to have fun with the game, so hugs sounded more fun. So
Hugs definitely sounds fun.
mhm. Thank you, Sans. I'm gonna definitely go look for the clown with the free hug sign. Yes, that sounds like the safest thing to do. Sorry, I have to acknowledge the free hugs sign in there. Um, one of the great things about having been in this community and in some great guilds and meeting some fantastic people is the different talents and expertise that different people have, and see the enthusiasm from amazing players. Um, we have in Blackgate, we have got great communicators who talk about where we need to have rallies, or how to keep us engaged and having fun in the round. And Fatal Hugs, we have amazing. I have a great deputies that always want to keep everything going, that are eager to step in if there's anything that's not quite going right. And oh my goodness, the guild boss killing, we have to keep a close eye on that. So I have great, great, great support in Fatal Hugs. And it's been amazing journey, and have I still play mostly for all the great people that are in this game and in the community.
Yeah, you've certainly been around, I think, from probably the very beginning of the
Cl-
game,
Close to.
close to it. What server were you originally on? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I'm now, I think, X336 after merge. It would
Okay.
it was a long
You're
time
one of the
coming
lucky
from us.
merged.
Yeah, and it was a really great merge. I feel very fortunate. When we first merged, there was a little bit of the myself and one of my OG players, Maria. We were the higher might one, so we kind of threw off the curve for a few events.
Mhm.
And and there was a little bit of some sass going there, and it immediately stopped because we were all trying to help each other out with questions about traits, questions about how to do things, great invites on towers and boosting the towers so that everybody had more quests. And those things just really changed made that server so wonderful. And we've got a very active server that talks a lot, and
Yeah.
it's those little things that make it more fun for the
Yeah, it's like
community.
a community within a community in a way,
It is.
right? So
It
the
is.
world servers all have different flavors and different, activity and stuff like that. So if you're lucky, if you're one of the lucky ones and you're on a server that has like a world server that's hopping,
Yeah.
that's great. That makes like a big difference in the community, I think, for sure.
Oh, agreed, agreed. And it's always so cute. I mean, when we have a banquet, whoever's hosting a banquet will say,
Oh,
"Ah,
yes.
it's like this is what I'm serving. Come on!" Or,
I'm
"Hey, it's
serving
reset. Let's
fried
all just."
chicken. Get in here.
Exactly. This one we joked about some poisoned mead, and a few other things. So it's always quite fun to
Yeah,
see what
I'm
people come up with.
got a bottle of wine I just popped.
Uh-huh.
Get in here.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Little competition on those games in the banquet
Uh-huh.
sometimes.
Oh
I know that's
yeah,
one of
oh yeah.
Rom's favorite, events. Do you have any other favorite events? I know you're a big, Guild Conquest girl, but is
I
there
I
anything else that's you really like?
I do love Guild Conquest. I love to run. I have always been one of the runners, and so sometimes when when
Winning.
I'm just, that's exactly it. When I'm just sitting on a tower, I get a little bored, and I'm like, oh, I want to go run. And right now I'm going to go run at ROM probably here in a few minutes. And
Give them
try
hell,
to.
give them hell.
Exactly, exactly. Testing. I like to call it testing. Um,
Yeah,
but always want to do that. And so, but
or a great
I
big
l-
hug.
exactly, exactly. I love VOC. I have been a terrible VOC member recently, so I'm sitting out this round because I feel a little guilty getting any rewards when it's like I'm there for a couple of days and then I forget to go in. But that's actually one of my favorite ones. I like the way that we're opposing team members and we're suddenly thrown together, and while it doesn't necessarily feel like you don't work together, but you kind of do. And so I love to see the opponents kind of go, hey, go over to this gate, they're halfway down, and trying to coordinate some of that. I think that's really neat for our community to kind of have to get along with some other people and be at
Yeah,
least polite. And
yeah,
but,
throw them
but
into the mix and see how we all
exactly.
get along in there,
Yeah.
different circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that game mode as well. It does get you thinking outside of the box a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, so they do
And it
have
doesn't.
some modes that are more guilds oriented, but ones like
Mhm.
that are really great. And even
Yeah.
server oriented sometimes are fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. I will say I am the worst guildmate for sales and sabers and summertide. I will do them if somebody nags me and says, "Momo, go do it." But I really kind of forget unless somebody tells me to go do it. Um, it's just one of those things. I guess I wish I could make the fights quicker in sales, but
Mhm.
I know there are people who love it, and so I'm glad that they do, and they do such a good job, and I will begrudgingly do it. But please, if you're guilty of mine, remind me, and I'll do it.
Necro makes a good point. Recently, the VOC, used to be more evenly matched as far as might
Hmm.
and power, but like lately, it's been a mix of the power has been a little bit skewed. And I've heard a few people commenting about that. Like, how have you found that in VOC?
It's it's Necro's absolutely correct. I think it started well known to start with Fierce Daughter. She has been in the top tier for a year and continued to message and ask for, "Hey, I feel like I'm mismatched." And it's almost like once you get thrown up there, you don't really get a good chance to come back down. And
Hmm.
so do see that they have had some people able to go down, but it's almost like they bring in new players first to top tier, and it's truly not fair. Um, and when you're certain tiers, we kind of get used to each other, and we have how we kind of do
Yeah.
things, and so when you have somebody new come in, it's like it's hard for them because first off they are mismatched and can't hit
Tough
anybody.
cop, bread
Yep.
thief.
Yeah. And then yes, and then they go straight for the bread. 100%. And while I don't think we don't need necessarily bread, but it's the collect, and it's one of those ways to get your diamonds back. I think it's a great way to get diamonds. If when I really farm, I get 1,000 diamonds and keep an eye on that quest, and so I think it's worth it. And I stay in it long enough to collect 4 or 5 times when I'm every time I'm in there, so that I'm sure to get as much points as I can. And but it is hard. I would my words of encouragement to anybody who does get into a higher tier than they are probably matched for is to use that chance to talk to some of the players that are in there that are higher might and ask them questions and talk about a trade or two if you don't understand it. Most of the time, it's most players are very willing to talk about some questions there and willing to help. And always make sure to keep an eye on your the quests on that little flame, so you can see where you're at on that to make sure you're getting as many diamonds out of it as possible. Because even if you're mismatched, as long as you keep collecting till you get your 60 and keep trying as much as you can and getting into as many fights as possible, you'll get there.
Yeah, and sometimes you might get lucky. You might get somebody like a bit of a storyteller, like an
Hmm.
LD in one of your
Hmm.
rounds, and get like a little bit of a fun thing going on with some storytelling.
Oh, absolutely. I've done some silly things where I've asked what everybody's favorite dinosaur was. Where favorite started the big debate. Is it waffles? Is it pancakes? Is it French toast? What's the best? And so you got to have fun in those things. But
Absolutely.
yeah,
We're bringing the fun. Lady Momo's
absolutely.
bringing the fun in all the
I
game
try.
modes.
I try. It's a game
No,
after all.
it
We should have
is.
fun.
It
Yeah.
is. And I think that, yeah, no, that's like the community, the fun, the verbal sparring stuff is all part
Hmm.
of the fun. So
Yeah.
that's good. Have you had a chance to make the new Sprite? So we're going to take a look
Oh,
at that, the Awakened Imp.
I have not
Um,
yet. I'm very excited. Sprites are my jam.
I know
So,
Rom is going to pull up the Convoke here and see if we can make the Awakened Imp.
ugh.
I was going to read its skills. So it says when a back row ally's hit, health points, hit points, first drops below 30%, it gains invincibility and a damage bonus.
I mean, that sounds ridiculously amazing. Sounds S tier. So I mean, am I going to be one of those ones who immediately goes for it? Anybody who knows my love of Sprite, yes, will be probably in trouble with the husband later when he sees the credit card bill.
It
But
is one of the deciding factors, right, in the upper
yeah,
echelons is like which
yeah.
Sprite do you get maxed out and use in
hmm
combination? And that can really be a key in taking down some big accounts for sure.
It really is. It when we're looking at it, we have to take into factor all the things like the family bonds and getting them to 13 stars so you can get that fourth trait, getting them leveled up and looking at how you're spreading out your resources, and it's what are the right traits, and it's amazing when how just the way that sometimes the things are worded in the game can get a little confusing. And so I still find players that are not understanding that some of the traits can only be on one sprite. And so they'll have it on a few of the sprites. And it's like, no, no, let's go back and let's make sure we've got the right traits for the right sprites.
Right on
And
the right one. Yeah,
mhm,
that's really overwhelming for new players, I think.
it
I think a
is.
lot of them kind of put that to the side and they don't realize how critical those sprites can be
hmm
and game content.
Yeah, it's really
Sansa's
hard to.
saying Momo and LD spin tails every guild war we meet.
It's true. LD is well known for being a chatty guy in telling the stories for Sans Heroes, and have had a great time whenever I've played Sans Heroes, and have stolen his maracas at one point. And
I heard something about this, the
I know,
maracas.
I, sometimes you got to dance. And little did you know that GC is one of the places that you need to dance. So I was dancing apparently somewhere and did steal his maracas. Um, but I was nice enough. I took good care of them. I absolutely repainted them into colors that did not go with LD's favorite color. And so I have offered to take them back for a short time, repaint them to colors he likes, but no. Uh, he said no, he's keeping the maracas again. So, but you gotta have fun. You gotta have fun.
Yeah, those maracas, yeah. I think they were mentioned in a previous maybe when LD was, on the Lithas Tea Time, he mentioned them. I can't
Oh
remember, but this has come
no.
back up, and
Oh
I was
no.
just curious about the story. Hey, Rom, are you gonna put a photo of the awakened imp up for us so we can see what this little guy looks like for anybody in the
Because
audience who has not been able to make him?
he
Well,
sure looks so
I
cute.
am streaming, and I'm about to
Okay.
start convoking for him.
All right. Let's get the
Okay.
convoke on.
Just real quick, I spent $30 on the pack, and I had 43 tickets saved up from the last convoke for that bloodcraft that nobody likes, the Ico.
Oh yeah.
All right, so far $60 has been invested into this convoke. Now let's see if I can get it up to 8 and get the big 50 shards. That's off. First one,
All right.
junk. Second one,
Let's see. Anybody taking bets on Rom and his ability to be lucky?
still junk. All right, now we're up to 2 tickets. So we had 3 rolls of 1 ticket. Now it's up to 2. Okay, still no shards. Oh, we got some
Oh,
there. Did anybody catch that?
Jervis is hoping you hit 10 with your 8 roll.
Oh wow, that's hurtful. All right, we're up to
Andy
4.
is Andy's
Okay,
not
so
condoning any gambling. But wait.
oh my god, this is terrible. All right, there we
I
got a
think
10.
I think the luckiest I got was with Lucky, and I happened to get really good rolls that were just quite remarkable. Was like, Goat must have really liked me that time. But sometimes this can be really hard and take a lot of money to get through.
Ooh, I hit a 12 piece.
I saw that. Very nice.
Andy says just
And a
click on the
10.
chest to see how many you currently have.
So far it's 60. $60 and we got 60 shards. But now let's go to the convoke pass. and let's start collecting more tickets.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm
I
really
think this is
hoping.
still one of the best investments, or do you think buying the shard packs are a better investment? Because they're guaranteed, right? Versus the Convoke being a little bit of a roll
Well,
of the
Well,
dice.
there are packs that come out where they're going to sell for around
yeah,
$50. You'll walk away with 150 shards. They just don't always go up to the latest champion. So
yeah.
I think,
It may only go up to the Griffin right now on some of those packs.
oh, 12.
And he
And so
does
you got
mention that the
Another
dopamine hit
12.
is a little stronger in this event.
yes, yeah, but you gotta always, if you're gonna invest any money, always be careful because once you start to spend, it's hard to stop.
All right,
Um,
calm
but
down. I'm on the 8. I'm on the 8 pull. The big
all
pull.
right,
This could be 50 shards. It could be 10.
All right,
So
let's
Lady
see.
Momo, what's he gonna roll?
I'm hoping for 10, at least
All
10.
right, I
what?
gotta go 10 too.
You guys want me to get 10? You want me to get 50?
Oh, 50. Okay, for sure. I want you to get 50. Let's do.
Right?
Let's go big.
Ask the crowd to
Oh,
take bets. Am I
is
going
that
to
the
get a good
biggest?
roll or a
Okay,
crappy one?
what? And to be fair, what do we want you to get, or what do we think you're going to get? Those are two very different questions. We
What do you
want
think
you to
I
get
am going to get?
50.
Will
Show
it
the
have to?
options from chances.
I think Alina wants me to pull 0.
Ah, she wants you to
All
be
right.
lucky. Oh,
All right.
Jervis, get Nancy. Do it.
All
Do
right.
it. Do
Right.
it.
Hurry
Right.
up.
All right. All right. Count me
Let's
down,
get on
Autumn.
with it.
Count me down.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right. The 8 piece. 25. Damn it.
All
It's
right,
it's better
middle of
than
the
the
road.
10 that we thought.
This game hates me. So I'm at 129 shards without collecting and turning anything in so far. Got 27 rolls. Let's see what happens. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
Hmm.
6.
Oh,
So, any of you out
6.
there wondering if ROM is all luck or all strategy?
To quote my old friend, Gorilla, yeah, I just push buttons.
It's
Ah,
neither. It's neither.
wow, this is
I'm
terrible.
back. I see you in the audience.
A
mhm.
12. And my last roll so far, another 10. I'll collect there, another 10. I'll go to the Convoke pass, and I'll hit this.
Finish it up.
We got 15 more. We also have the Gleam Exchange. See, there's two
Yeah,
buckets here. You have the more
there it is.
expensive one that goes up to the newest one, and the
Mhm.
other one that only goes up to the Wraithen. Let's take this an extra 24. All right, let's spend these 15, and then let's unlock them.
Did you go to
Okay. I'm dying
your
to see
total
what this little guy
purchase of the
looks like.
day?
He's just in a ghost form on my screen, so.
Oh, bunch of 10s. All right, the value rewards.
Yep.
Okay, Reskin said he pulled 147 shards from the Convoke Pass.
Oh,
It's rubbing it in. Now, something that I'd like the game to change here are these chests that nobody really wants. That's been playing for more than a year and a half.
yeah. I mean, you can at least now exchange those shards. So, but yeah, I wish we could even at least exchange the more shards than we're allowed to because I think it's 5.
All right, one last pull.
Make it
Nothing.
good. Oh. RNG. Say it with me, folks.
Absolutely.
3-letter word.
All right, so I got 241.
$241. That's not bad.
So $60 between the two different Convokes.
Very nice.
Got a little Sprite Haven.
And now the part Autumn's been looking forward to. Let's see his cute little
Yeah,
tushy.
let's see
There he
this
is.
little awakened imp.
He looks so cute.
Oh, wait, no, I got to open them. I got to open the chest.
Wow.
Oh,
That was
no.
super disappointing.
Aww.
I feel very
Last
let
time I went
down
in my
right now.
bag, that guy Poche was taking notes.
Mario says, I pulled a lot. Meow said the Convoke crystal balls could be improved. I have over 7,000. Very good point.
Yeah.
Now,
I
real
think
quick, because
Autumn and I just got to Andy's comment together.
Yeah. And edited.
because this Sprite is brand new and he's not part of a Sprite bond, he's not that important to push. I mean, unless you're going to drop like $1,000, you're not getting them, on the first go around up to 15 stars. So you kind of want to slow walk them and really pay attention to the other Sprite bonds that you can build up. All right, there he is. You think he's cute?
Travis said,
I think he's
thanks
cute.
for making it easy for the rest of us to get 50. With a big screenshot of him pulling 50. All right. He looks like
Eddie
a little
Munster?
devil.
He's so cute. Come on. He's totally going to throw that little jack-o'-lantern at somebody. Yeah.
All right, so we'll be looking for all of our competitors to be rocking this little guy and see how he does in the next little while. He does look like a little devil, Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's my segment of the show. I convoked poorly, and you guys all make fun of me.
Elenia, if we could bring Knowm up on the stage for our next segment, we're going to take a really in-depth look at our new adjudicator who is taking the world of Lithas by storm, the Samhain.
Now, Knowm is at work. Knowm is at work. Daylight savings kind of confused him. So he says if he dips out right away, because the customers come in, and just letting everybody know.
We'll just roll with it. Hi, Knowm. Thank
you for joining everybody.
Us. Good to see you again. Appreciate you coming by and stopping in and giving us a little bit of an in-depth look at the new adjudicator. Samhain.
Awesome. Yeah, the daylight savings time kind of got me a little bit. I still work while we're doing tea time now. So thanks for people understanding and working with me there. But yeah, should I share the screen and we can jump right into the Void Lord? Yeah, Knowm here, server X160, the best in the West. Proud member, Arkham Asylum, the #1 guild out there. Let me share my screen here. Okay.
Technically, aren't you the Midwest?
I am. I don't know why I say that. I just got used to it. Funny. Okay,
your stream
share
stopped.
Screen. There we go. It should be coming through anytime
there
now.
We go.
All right. So we're going to be talking about the new Void Lord. Very overpowered, and I wasn't going to do the Guardian event this time, but I jumped in just today, last minute, because I realized Knowm needs the mask if you score in the top 10 for the +3% crit evade rate. And so I jumped in last minute, and oh boy, did I get a lot of practice with this Void Lord. He is something else. And what I really like is it kind of forces people to completely change around their teams. You can't just squeeze them into the current meta and just go. I guess you can if your team's strong enough, but there are so many teams you can build around this guy, and they're all very satisfactory. So with that, let's just jump right in. We'll you all do know it's from the Void Guardian, And I think you have to add like a warrior or something to it because it used to just be marksman and tank. And so you can do it that way to combine them. You all know how to do all that. So let's jump into his passive, Void Shockwave. When a battle starts, gain 6 seconds of control immunity and reflects 9.8% damage taken. Now, the Void Guardian had 5 seconds of control immunity with his ability, and so they just kind of expanded on that a little bit. Every time taking cumulative damage equal to 4% max con triggers Void Shockwave, dealing 12.8% current constitution as true damage. And I take it that's the enemy's current constitution. So the earlier in the match, then the higher hit points they are, the more it's going to do. Up to 20 times strength and receiving an equal amount of max toughness and toughness cap is, I think that's what they meant to say. Up to 4 times your starting constitution. So why that's really good is every time he loses 4% of his max con, he is gaining max toughness and a toughness cap and toughness. Yeah, I wish they would have actually worded it correctly there. If the obtained max toughness exceeds the initial constitution, Void Shockwave heals the ally with the lowest con for 12.7% of the caster's max con. That is really amazing, and that's a lot of healing as well. If you think about it, if you put energetic on this guy and you use the tank astrolabe, you have the huge ability to pile on a bunch of con, and now he's going to be healing a percentage of that max con. Not to mention, if you put him in the front row, if you have the tank astrolabe or 2 of them, he gains bonus to max con from those as well. But also notice something. There is strength in here. The true damage. It's based up to 20% or 20 times strength, and he's got a lot more things that are scaling off of strength compared to Void Guardian. So you putting a brutal on him or an aggressive on him can go a long way. So that's the passive. The active, Shielded Onslaught. Rams forward with a shield in hand, dealing 581% strength as damage and knocking back the target. At the end of the charge, leaps up and smashes the ground to launch surrounding enemies, dealing 855% strength as damage and reducing their strength resilience by 41% for 6 seconds after they land. That's fantastic. Or strength resistance or strength resilience, whatever it is. The fact that you can decrease that of your enemy is really nice. Now, the thing is, after he charges with his hammer, I never really see him jump up into the air to like smash the ground. Maybe we'll see that in our little practice here. When casting the skill, gives the caster and the 2 allies with the lowest constitution a shield mirage with the same effect as the ultimate. Now, here's a thing that you need to pay attention to. It says the lowest constitution. It doesn't say the lowest constitution percent. So at the beginning of the game, when everybody's using their actives for the first time, if you don't have energetic on your DPS, he most likely will give your DPS the mirage, the shield. So consider that when you're teaming them up and you're putting energetic on your DPS, you might not want to do it with him so that they're more likely to gain the shields. So with that, they get the same mirage as the ultimate. Applies a shield mirage to all allies, increasing their crit evade rate and crit damage resilience by 34%. That is so much. Crit evade rate by 34%, that's big. And making them immune to control for 8 seconds. Now, that's the best part. Immune to control for 8 seconds. And listen, that's a shield to all allies. So they're all immune to control for 8 seconds when he uses his ultimate. You know what that tells me? You're going to want an energy regen on him potentially. During this period, if any ally takes 10% of their max constitution as damage, heals other allies with the Mirage for almost 25% of the caster's max con and max toughness. And remember, max toughness can go up to 4 times the original starting con. So that is such a huge heal. In fact, I've gone against this guy, and he's just gotten to a loop where it's just him left, and I have all my DPS and my whole team up. But he gets in this loop where he keeps healing himself for 25%, and it's nuts. It's crazy. Excess healing is converted into a shield. That's even more nuts. Allies with the Mirage, upon receiving damage equal to 80% of their max constitution, will immediately shatter the shield and consume 18% of their current toughness. So here's something that I have up in the air, and maybe somebody can say in chat if what the true case is. This makes it seem that only other adjudicators that have toughness can activate this, basically. Because if it's him, immediately shatter shield and consume 18% of his current toughness to make them untargetable and immune to death. I haven't really seen that trigger that much. And granted, I've only been running other guardians in the team, not other adjudicators. And so if you're running Flammabane and Harbinger, or potentially when they take 80% of their max con, they consume 18% of their toughness to become untargetable and immune to death. I don't know, so correct me, but I haven't seen this proc with a team with just him as the only adjudicator and a whole bunch of guardians. So I don't know. So this effect cannot be triggered if their current toughness is less than 50% of their max con. So that even adds more to this question, to this debate. So I think it's your allies. So that tells you that having him on the same team as one of the two other adjudicators is awesome, because it could potentially prevent them from dying, especially the Harbinger. That can't survive as much, a little bit more squishy. So that's really fantastic for that. Though, again, I didn't get to see it much during this Guardian Arena event because I don't have really multiple that I have on the same team. See y'all later. The Void Stonefall is his special ability. Conjures a Void Stone falling upon the enemy with the highest. This is like the longest one in the game. With the highest DPS and banishes the target. That's awesome, because later in the game it's normally going to be the Harbinger. And so to be able to banish the Harbinger is. And it ignores selection immunity, but it does not ignore control immunity, I think. Because there's also been times when I've been using him and he's got enough resolve up and he didn't banish anybody. So I'm guessing that if you have immunity to control, that maybe they can't be. So if no enemy is banished, which would explain not having, or if someone has immunity to control and it doesn't work on them, conjures an extra void stone when casting the skill next time. And then if both of those are resisted or they have control immunity, I don't know if it does a third one or not. So that's something we're going to have to figure out. He raises his weapons to taunt surrounding enemies and resonate with the Void Stone, dealing 265 strength as true damage per second to nearby enemies and those next to the stone. That's a lot of damage, and seeing as it's true damage, that really starts to add up. During the charge up, reduces damage taken by 41% and shares 57% damage taken by surrounding allies. This is similar to the Void Guardian's ability, his passive, where he absorbs damage from the back row allies. This one is 57% damage taken by surrounding allies. And remember how at the beginning when I started talking about them, I mentioned that a whole bunch of other group compositions come into play? I find that having a full melee team with the Void Lord is really good. And as I fought people in the Guardian arena, the people that were doing the best throughout the entire event were the people that had a full melee team. And that normally involves Fate as your healer because she is a melee champion. So after that, smashes the enormous weapons on the ground to deal 12.5 max con and max toughness as true damage. Still quite a bit, but not a ton, like compared to some of your allies. And launches nearby enemies. As the Void Stone is shattered, releases banished enemies and reduces their max con, strength, and fortitude by 80% for 8 seconds. That makes people worthless for 8 seconds, basically. And it's their con. So it's a good time to burst enemies down whenever their con is reduced by 80%. The stone shards attach to all allies for 6 seconds, converting 30% of damage taken during the period into permanent shields. This guy is the tank of tanks. In his resolve collection, he gains resolve every time damage he takes is equal to 8% of his max con. So each time he takes 8%, then he gains 260 resolve. So the
Song
Guardian skill
said
cannot be interrupted. What's up?
the 20-star ability is a taunt. Is that good or bad?
The from the actual yes, from the astrolabe. It is really good. I don't have him as 20-star on anybody, but it is such a good one. Let me explain. Upon casting a skill, he's casting skills nonstop. Taunts the enemy with the highest DPS for 4 seconds. That's most likely going to be the Harbinger. Having them attacking him means he's going to gain more resolve. His passive's going to trigger more, aka putting more heals and shields on people. When max toughness reaches the cap and current toughness exceeds 75% of the max toughness, consumes 3.6% of max toughness per second to deal an equal amount of damage to surrounding enemies until toughness reduces to 0. I think that is really, really strong. So max toughness can go up to 4 times your con. I have 2 billion on mine. So 2 billion times 4 is 8 billion max toughness, right? And so 75 when it goes 75% consumes 3.6% of 3 billion, and it deals that much damage per second to enemies, to surrounding enemies. So again, you want that melee team to keep the enemies all stacked up. So this is his main damage ability. He does good damage, like moderate damage as is, but if you want to step him up to being a DPS, you're going to want to get him to 20-star and have the astrolabe. It's just so good. And again, he can use tank, he can use warrior, or he can use marksman. So most likely people are going to be using tank or warrior. When you swap them over to DPS, when you have them at 20 stars, I'd probably then swap them over to warrior astrolabe. So here, let's do a couple battles, see if we could see some of his stuff in action. This guy is definitely the strongest champion out now, but you got to build him right and you got to build around him right, or I can take him out basically. So I checked a little earlier. I had some good fights here, so let's go straight into it. I have mine at 18 star. He's in my sanctuary, so he is ready to go. Oh, I didn't mention his traits are energy harness, which is the panda one. So that again goes off of brutal, goes off of strength, and it gives you 7.5 times your strength at the beginning of combat as a beginning shield. Fantastic for him, even though arguably he doesn't really need it. But he's not going to die right at the beginning, especially the first 6 seconds. And his second ability is the aquatic barrier, which is the tide razor one, and it gives your front row champs strength resistance for the first 10 seconds or so. So let's jump in here. Let's see if we can spot some of his abilities. It's just really hard because you have so many guardians and judicators on the team. So you could see he's got the energy harness on. It's his green shield. You see his active. He just did that little charge right there. And this is a pretty good matchup right here. I'm a little stronger than this enemy. But you could see he's just standing there in the middle of the enemy team. So if you have all melee champions on your team, they're going to benefit from standing right next to him, where I have the Harbinger in the back row, I got Revenant in the back row. And so whenever his abilities say surrounding allies, I don't know if he's hitting the back row, but look at the shields of my team right now. There's no way he's not hitting my entire team, including Revenant and Harbinger in the back row with his shielding abilities. Like, look at my team. They're untouchable right now. All I got to do is do DPS now. So you can also see his shield from his ultimate, the Mirage. It's the little purplish blue stones that go around your team. And when he uses his ultimate, you'll notice your whole team has them. Remember, that makes your team immune to control for 8 seconds. Queen of Frost is going to get through that. Male Akuna is going to get through that. And Count is going to get through that with his active. So keep that in mind. But having your team immune to control for 8 seconds every time he uses his ultimate, I think that that's worthy of putting energy regen on him. Now, I don't have it on him. Currently, I have Brutal, Energetic, and the Healing Resonance because he does heal a lot. And I needed someone to hold that team buff, and he just happened to get it. But you know what I might do is actually take the Brutal off of him and put energy regen because his ultimate, his Mirage, is so powerful. But also remember when he uses his active. Say again?
Who has the energy regen trait?
That's the Shoten clan. So yeah, throw that on from the Shoten clan. I think it adds 200 or 240 energy whenever he takes an active skill or ultimate skill attack, and then it's got a refresh of like 8 seconds. But if you can have him using his ultimate all the time, in fact, hey, if anyone wants to play with female Ganesh on a PvP team, try putting female Ganesh with the new Judicator because she will give him unlimited energy. He'll be dropping mirages on your team the whole time, making them immune to control. And she's really strong about fighting enemies that have shields as well. So if you don't have a Dawn Feather on your team, you could potentially try a female Ganesh with this guy. I can tell you right now, Queen of Frost is one of the best combos with him just because she goes to the enemy back line normally. Also, Dawn Feather is really great with him because she's back there as well. Flamma Bane is really, really good with him. I like Flamma Bane a whole lot. Here, let me go to the arena real quick and we'll look at the last of his abilities. I really want you to see when he uses the Mirage, and I really want you to see when he uses his active because I feel that those are really important. In fact, here, let me pull my team down a little bit just so that we can kind of see stuff happen a little bit more. We'll take Revenant out and put us a little bit closer in power standing to each other. So notice he's got the Panda, the energy harness on, and that protected him for the first 15 seconds. You could see the Harbingers taking a beating, and so there's no instant healing gratification like there is with Fate, how she swaps people's life. You could put her in the group. That's another champion whose synergy is amazing. She was in a lot of team ones. I don't know if she is anymore, but she goes really fantastic as well. You notice also I don't have Bunny Sprite for this account, and so having somebody in the back row that you definitely need not to be controlled like Fate because she won't use her passive if she's controlled, so she won't swap life if she's controlled. But like for instance, she will also reduce people's hit. That's helpful for the Void Lord. There was his active right there. And remember, when he uses his active, he puts the Mirage on people. So you could see the Harbinger has the Mirage. It doesn't add any immediate shield, but his crit rate reduction goes up, and his strength resistance goes up as well. And then if somebody takes 10% of their max con who has a Mirage shield, that's when he heals the whole team for like 25%. And that is, that's kind of what you want to be aiming for. Let me try Mad Dog's Asylum here. It's a little bit of a punch up, and he doesn't have the whole team going on. But let's give this so you can kind of see it a little bit more. What we're really looking for is watch him ult so we can see the Mirage go on your whole team. And when your when your team has that, okay, you can kind of see it. You see the little flecks of things spinning around, the little void stones spinning around. Or those could be after he banished somebody, and after he banishes them, I think that's what it is. When the little pieces break apart and attach to your team and give them a shield, I think that's what those little chunks that are floating around your allies. Because that's one thing in this game. Getting to know what the abilities are when they're using them. That helps you when deciding your position of your team. It helps deciding what traits you want to go with. You need to be able to see the abilities that they're using so that you know what to build, kind of thing. But this guy, say again.
That's impressive because I'm looking at a Jackson Pollock painting over here. I have no idea what's going on. Got little squids everywhere. You're talking about tiny rocks. Here's the question that I think everybody really should know. A lot of players are on a fixed budget. They can't afford to get all these judicators. They can't afford to take them all to 20 stars. There's only 3 right now. If you had to tier list them and which ones deserve more compasses than others, what are you saying to our big crowd back home?
Oh, that's a really good question because I'm in that same boat, and I'm really having to decide right now with Flama Bane to either take them to 20 stars, which I really want to, or if I work on the new Void Lord and get them up to 19 stars, and then later get them up to 20 stars. Well, here's my ranking of them. You kind of, if you're Harbinger strongest person right now, if you have Harbinger at like 18 or 19 stars, go ahead and finish getting Harbinger up to 20 stars. That would be my first one because the new Void Lord, he's just as good, honestly, without being 20 stars. If he's 20 stars, he's even better. He becomes more aggressive and more damage. But I would honestly say you can have him at 18 stars. Grawl is actually at 17 stars, and he holds his own. He does great. So I don't think he's mandatory to be 20 stars. Harbinger, when they get the Astrolabe for 20 stars and is able to stack on more strength and be able to gain toughness quicker, that's really, really important. So I would probably say Harbinger to 20 star first, but I'm in love with Flama Bane. And
Flama
if you
Bane
have
is
Flama
garbage.
Bane at,
He's
no, if you
garbage.
have Flama Bane at 20 stars and he starts the match off with 57% of his max con as toughness cap and toughness, his passive triggers really quickly, and therefore he becomes immune to control for the rest of the
Yeah.
battle.
A lot
That
of
is
people, a
so
lot,
powerful.
a lot of people were running all 3 early and did 20 star all 3 of them, and they were
Yeah.
very beatable. It wasn't going to be the OP. Look at the 3 judicators together. It fell apart.
You were able to beat him really easily because remember, as
I
we
didn't.
talked with the
I
Void Lord, his Guardian ability, it actually helps other Judicators. So
I didn't have
potentially running all 3 would be good.
I didn't have the matchup, but Mario did, and in Mario's conquest round, his guild was able to punch up significantly against the triple judicator team.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I haven't been against it. I run the triple adjudicator team on Grawl, and I am owning hard, and that's even with Flama not being 20 star. Once Flama's 20 star, it's going to be even better, baby. But yeah,
Well,
this guy doesn't need to be 20 star, but I think you can start rolling over to more damage output if you do get him to 20 star. That's how I would put it.
all right, we're
Like
coming up
focus
on
the
an hour.
harbinger.
We're coming up on an hour, and I think we lost our
Perfect.
crowd. We're down to 6 people. Oh, these people are
Oh dang.
terrible.
Yeah, no one likes to hear me ramble, which is okay.
In your defense, I think we were losing the crowd after my terrible convoke. Autumn, you want to wrap us up? Lady Momo, you want to wrap us up together?
Yeah. I just
I'll
wanted
first
to.
say, thank you for letting me have the opportunity to come on here. It was a great invite, and thank you. I enjoyed myself.
Well,
Thank
we're
you
happy
so
to have
much. Yeah, very happy to have you. So we really appreciate you taking your time and coming and joining us this evening. Thank you. Thank you, Rom. Thank you, Knowm. Thank you, Elenia. And really appreciate Lady Momo for coming and letting the community get a chance to hear from you. So we will
Absolutely.
see everybody next week.
Thank y'all.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Laters.